in. Happy Wednesday. I said Tuesday earlier. Clearly, I don't know what day it is. So happy Wednesday. I pray your day is prosperous. Welcome in. If you are new here, my name is M. Simone. I do these lives Monday through Thursday around 6:45. So depending on what's going on in my life, it may be a little bit later. So please bear with me. The intention of these lives is for you guys to start thinking from the end, right? For you to start thinking from the versions of you that already has the life that you want to live. Every single one of you guys has a desire for something. You're on this live because you want more out of life. People that don't want anything out of life, people that are complacent with where they are, people that are satisfied are not the people that are on my lives. So if you are on this live, you were tapped into this frequency, it's because you want more out of life. And the reason you want more is because one, God wants more through you, but two, there is a version of you that has more. Your job is to step into that version, to become that version today so that you can naturally create the life that you want to live. Every single one of you guys is creating a reality currently that's in harmony with who you believe you are currently. So in order for you to create the dream life, you have to become the version of you that would naturally live that life. Okay? So the intention of this live is for you guys to start thinking from that version, thinking from the dream life. Now, I am on both of my TikToks. So if there's a question that's being asked that you didn't ask, it's probably because somebody else on the other TikTok asked. So I have msbinfluence, which is my personal TikTok. And then I have the Great School of Life 111, which is the business TikTok. Regardless of which one you're on, I typically answer everybody's questions. Sometimes they come in really fast and I may miss your question. And if I do, just put it back in the chat. I will get to your questions. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat. At any point in the live, I typically stop and answer the questions, make sure I'm engaging with you guys. Outside of that, my job is to help you create your heaven on earth. Whatever heaven on earth looks like for you, my job is to give you the tools you need to create the version of you that would naturally live that life and show you how to actually be them. Okay? If you have any questions, put them in the chat. Everything you need to move forward with anything that I teach, anything that I offer, mentorship, masterclasses, community, you can click the link in my bio and you can get everything that you need. Outside of that, let's get into it. Okay? Let's get into the gems. Y'all didn't come here to see my face. I mean, I know I'm cute, but that's not what y'all here. That's not what y'all here for. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me get the, I feel like that just made it more blurry. Wobble, wobble. I'm also a whole mom, so if you hear a baby in the background, that's my son, Houston. He typically does not want his mama to do anything other than be up under his skin, so he may pop in. You'll never see him on camera, but you will hear him. Okay, let's make sure. So I got both of them. Hello, Chelsea. How are you, baby? Okay, perfect. So welcome in. Like I said, my name is M. Simone. This is the Great School of Life. This is a institution, a non-traditional education institution that teaches you how life works, that teaches you how to unlock your inheritance so that you can start living your dream life. Whatever heaven on earth is for you, the intention of this class, of this school, is to help you start living that life. Every single one of you was promised an inheritance. You must unlock that inheritance, okay? The way you're going to unlock it is by becoming the version of you that would naturally live that life. Thank you for the heart me, Chelsea. I appreciate you, baby. Okay, so we're going to start with the basics, right? I want you guys to understand that the foundation on which your life is built is unstable. It's unstable because you have been programmed to believe a lot of lies about how life works, how you work, how money works, how success works, how all of this shit works, right? And because you have accepted these lies or these beliefs as your truth, the house that you've built, right, is unstable. That's why your life feels the way that it does. It feels like you don't know what you're doing. It feels like you can't get ahead. It feels like you're doing all the things, but nothing's changing, right? Because you've been programmed to believe a certain set of beliefs that do not serve you. So I'm going to, in the next hour and a half, break up that foundation because we cannot create the new house on that same shaky foundation. We have to create a new foundation to then build our house on. Okay? So first things first, right? I want you guys to understand that we live on 3 different planes of understanding simultaneously. When I say plane, right, we live on the 3D plane, right? The physical plane. That's the one that you're most familiar with. The one that you can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. However, there's also the mental plane and the spiritual planes, right? That we also live on that you are not familiar with, right? The school system doesn't teach you about these for a reason. If you knew that you lived on the spiritual and mental planes, if you started to think about that, you would start to unlock the secrets of how this universe works. And they don't want you to do that. The school system is not set up. The world is not set up for you to be a thinker, for you to create what you want. It's set up for you to be a worker. to keep the system going forward, okay? My job is to awaken the thinker within you so you start thinking about this shit. Because when you start thinking about things, you're like, that doesn't really make sense. Correct, it doesn't. But most people don't think. So they never unlock the secrets of how life actually works. Luckily for you guys, though, you are all thinkers, and that's why you're on this live. Like I told you guys at the beginning, you're on this live because you want more, because you deserve more, because you're worthy of more, because you have an inheritance. You're not on this live if you're complacent with where you are in life. You wouldn't be on this live. You would not be hearing me speak if you were okay with the mediocrity that the life that the world has promised you. You wouldn't be here. Okay, so 3 planes of understanding. You live on the spiritual plane, you live on the mental plane, and you live on the physical plane. You are a spiritual being. Okay, every single one of y'all on this call, on this class, is a spiritual being, and you're having a human experience. You are not a human being. You are a spiritual being, and you're having a human experience. You are not your body. You are the spirit that lives in the body. Okay, you are not your body. You are the spirit that lives in the body. So every single one of y'all is spirit. You can use the word God. You can use the word energy. You can use the word power, source, universe, whatever word makes you feel comfortable. I use God and energy interchangeably. Okay. That's who you are at your core. Every single one of y'all is God in human form. When Jesus said, I and my Father are one. When God said, I created you in my image, in the image of the creator, you were created. That's what they meant. You are God in human form. God is not a larger version of humans. We are smaller versions of God. Okay, God is not a larger version of humans. We are smaller versions of God. God is the big G-O-D, the creator of the universe, and you are the little G-O-D, the creator of your universe. Okay, so let's be clear. God is the sun. You are the sunbeam. 2 pieces of the one. You cannot separate the sun and the sunbeam, but you can distinguish them clearly. Okay, the sun is God, you are the sunbeam. God is the big G-O-D, you are the little G-O-D. Y'all are 2 pieces of the one whole. Okay, I want to be very clear about this because I think people sometimes feel like I'm saying that they're the God. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you are a God. You are a piece of the divine. You are a part of the God. Okay, you are a spiritual being. Every single one of y'all is spirit. The power that manifests, the power that creates, you are that power. The manifestation power, you are that manifestation power. You cannot turn off the manifestation power. Every single one of y'all right now has the manifestation power. You can't not have it. And you can't turn it off. It's always on. It's been on since you were conceived. You cannot turn it off. You guys are always manifesting. I want you guys to understand that. Hello, Keela. How are you, baby? You are always manifesting. That's why I said earlier that the life that you're living currently is natural to who you believe you are. You've been manifesting this current life your whole life, and you've been doing it unconsciously. You don't even know that it's happening. And it's going to continue to happen. It's never going to stop. Your job is to start to direct the manifestation power to what you want, to start to consciously direct it. Because right now you're unconsciously directing it to what you don't want. Hello, Keela. Thank you for the heart post, baby. I am wonderful. Thank you so much for asking. I am fantastic. It's Wednesday. It's almost Friday, which means it's almost another week, which means it's almost more fun. Right? So you guys are spiritual beings. That's who you are. You are spirit. Like I said, you can use the word God, energy, power, spirit, universe, source, whatever word makes you feel comfortable. You are the divine and you are in a physical vessel. You are not the physical vessel. You are the divine that lives in the physical vessel. Every single one of y'all is God living in a human body. Okay, everything is God. Everything is energy. This pen is God. This board is God. You are God. The water that flows through your faucets is God. The grass outside is God. Everything is God in a physical vessel. Okay, you are a spiritual being. You also live on the mental plane. You have an intellectual and an emotional mind. You have the conscious and the subconscious mind. This is the directive power of spirit. Spirit is the manifestation power. The mental plane, or the conscious and subconscious, is the director of that power. Okay, the conscious and the subconscious mind are going to tell this power where to go, what to do, and what to be. And then the physical body is the vessel through which the spirit and the mental planes are manifested or experienced. Does that make sense? Thank you for the rose, Chelsea. I appreciate you, baby. Thank you, Joe, for the rose. I appreciate you, love. Hold on. Somebody said love. Love, love, love. Very true. Okay, great. So we're all in accordance already. Okay, good. I know somebody's going to pop in here that's going to try to throw it off and I'm going to block them. All right. So you are a spiritual being. You live or you have an intellectual and an emotional mind, and you live in a physical body. I want you guys to understand that we are God's highest form of creation. There is nobody that can top you. You are God's highest form of creation. Every other thing in this world has the spiritual, the mental, and the physical. However, the differentiator between us as human beings or spiritual beings having human experiences is that we have the conscious mind. We have the intellectual mind. The rabbits outside, they don't have the intellectual mind. They don't have the ability to think. They don't have the ability to choose. They act off of instinct. They act off the subconscious. Everybody has the subconscious, or everything has the subconscious. We as human beings have the conscious. That's the part that actually gets to tell the subconscious what to do. Okay. Thank you for the roses, Chelsea. I appreciate you. Big Mama, hello. I'm new here. So how do you get specific people? Yes. How do you get specific people to feel different about you? And what do you do about free will? Great question, Big Mama. You can't change anybody else. Let me be very clear. You cannot change another person. What you can do is change your perspective of other people. I appreciate you, Chelsea. I'm going to give you guys a very clear example. I have a child, if you were unaware, right? And my son has a father. Okay. Last year and the beginning of this year, me and my son's father did not have the best relationship. Okay. The way that I perceived him was not beneficial. I thought he wasn't doing his job. I thought he was slacking off. I thought he was making excuses. This is the way that I perceived him. And because I looked at him that way, he created a reality, or that perception created a reality that confirmed it. Okay? Then you have other people who are telling you, oh, he ain't doing his job. You need to put him on child support. You need to do this. Everybody else is giving their opinion. So then I'm taking on all those beliefs, that perception, creating this specific reality. At the beginning of this year, I reminded myself that if I want to see any change outside of myself, I can't change other people, but I can change my perception of other people. Big Mama, you can't change anybody else. You can't change how other people feel about you, but you can change how you feel about you. You can change how you feel about them. You can change how you look at them. And in changing how you look at them, the way that they look at you will change. I changed my perspective about him. I changed it back to what it was when we first met, when he was the love of my life. When I was like, oh my God, my man, my man, my man, my man. I changed it back to how I felt about him at that time. And literally almost instantly, it probably took about a week. I'm not even gonna lie. For his behavior to literally shift, for the reality to confirm to me what I had believed about him. Okay? So you can't change anybody else. You cannot change other people, but you can change your perception of other people. A lot of women and a lot of men, right? A lot of people that have children together, they have a certain perception of the other person, right? And your perception of them is what's creating the reality, not how they're actually acting. It's your perception of their actions. Now, I'm not saying that you are in control of anybody else. I said that earlier. I'm not saying that you can change anybody's actions. What I am saying is, you can change your perception of other people. You can change how you see them. And in turn, the reality that you experience with them will shift to match that new perspective. Okay? Now, sometimes this is easier said than done, depending on how long you've been looking at them this way, depending on how deep the emotion is tied to what they are or not doing. But either way, you can't change them. You can only change your perception of them. You can only change how you view them. And in changing how you look at things, the things that you look at change. Okay, let me back up real quick. So you change your inner world and they will conform. Correct. People are going to reflect to you what you believe about you and what you believe about them. People are going to reflect to you what you believe about you and what you believe about them. You're never going to see anything outside of yourself that's not in harmony with something you believe about yourself. What did we do about free will? Free will to choose. Everybody has free will. That's the thing. That's what the conscious mind gives you. The conscious mind gives you free will to choose. You get to choose what type of life you want to live. That's exactly what I teach you guys how to do. I teach you how to, first of all, understand how you're currently living and why, and then help you choose a different way of living, right? But you get to choose. You have free will to choose. And that's why I said you can't, when I say you can't change anybody else's behavior, they have free will. They can do whatever they like. But with you changing your perception, what you're actually doing is you're changing your energy towards them. You're changing your emotion towards them, your energy and motion. The reason why they're acting the way that they're acting is because you have a certain feeling about them. And the feeling's not positive. The feeling is anger. Maybe you feel jealous because they get to live their life the way that they're living it and you can't because you're the mom or whatever it is, right? You're blaming them for whatever the problem is. That's the energy you're in. That's the energy they're picking up on. And they're only going to reflect to you back the energy that you've reflected to them. Does that make sense? And sometimes it does, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a process. I'm not saying that this is an overnight thing. Now, it was easy for me once I actually reminded myself that I could shift my perspective. It wasn't difficult for me, but I've been doing this type of work for 5 years. So this is not like new. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, right? So it may take a little bit longer, but your job is to stay in the energy. Your job is to hold the image of who you desire them to be. Because you can't change anybody's actions by trying to change their actions, but you can change your belief about them, which in turn will change the reality that you experience with them. Better just to move on mentally and leave them behind. That's an option too. And if you think it's hard, it will be. Let me be clear. If you think it's going to be difficult, it's going to be difficult. If you believe it's going to be a problem, it's going to be difficult, it will be. That's what you believe. You're going to recreate whatever you believe to be true. I teach you guys that every single time I come on live. Your reality is not based on reality. It's based on your belief about reality. Let me give you guys the visual real quick because we kind of went kind of far before we even got into the visual. Let me give you this visual, okay? So every single one of y'all, right? Thank you so much. Whoever said my writing was beautiful. Wait, let me back up. Z. Thank you, baby. Hold on, big mama. Give me 1 second. Because it looks like you talk about it's in the diaper bag. You're asking about the law of attraction. So give me 1 second. But let me give you guys this visual real quick, and then we'll go back through the rest. Okay. I want you guys to understand that what I said earlier was that you're a spiritual being, you have an intellectual and emotional mind, and you live in a physical body. If there is any type of dis-ease or discomfort, dissatisfaction, lack, scarcity, if there's any type of limitation in your physical reality, it's not because who you are is limited. Spirit is unlimited. God is unlimited. There's no limit to God. We can all agree that God is unlimited. God is infinite. God is limitless. That's who you truly are. So if there's any type of limitation in the physical world, it's not because you are limited. It's because there's a limitation in consciousness. There's a limitation in the mental, the beliefs, the identity, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotional convictions, the attitude. For example, this water right here in each of these bottles is spirit. Thank you for liking the live, guys. I appreciate you. The water in this bottle is spirit. This water is formless. We all agree, right? If I poured this water out, it would literally just splatter all over the table. It has no form in and of itself. It is formless. It doesn't have a form. However, based on the vessel that I put the water in, the water is going to take the shape of the vessel. We can agree that this water is going to take the shape of this vessel. This water is going to take the shape of this vessel. This vessel clearly has a larger capacity to receive water than this one. Nonetheless, the water, the spirit is the same. Thank you for the heart me, baby. I appreciate you. So what I want you guys to understand is that if there is a limitation in your supply, it's not because spirit is limited. It's not because who you are is limited. It's because there's a limitation in consciousness, in the vessel that you are allowing spirit to flow to and through. And that vessel is your consciousness, your identity, your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotional convictions, your attitude, your attention. Hey, I'm new here. Love your message. Thank you so much, Ariana, Ashante. I'm glad that you're here, baby. Thank you for being here. Okay. Now, somebody asked me, I think Big Mama was saying something about the law of attraction. So hold on, let me back up. Hold on 1 second. So we can't force them in the physical. Absolutely. But we can go inside and the 3D has to show us that. Correct. So give me 1 second. So this is the thing. I want you guys to understand the physical world is the reality. The reality is an effect. Your reality is not the cause. Your reality is an effect. If you want to change an effect, you don't change the effect. You don't change effects by changing effects. You change effects by going to the cause. The cause of the reality is the beliefs and the ideas that you hold to be true. That's what causes your reality. So correct, Big Mama, if you want to change the reality or the physical world, you don't try to change the physical world. The physical world is a manifestation of these two worlds. The physical is a manifestation of these two. And the manifestation is the end, not the beginning. So you need to go to the cause of the physical, of the reality, if you want permanent change. Now, if you want to willy-nilly, you want to get results here and there, maybe they change, maybe they don't, maybe you get the money, maybe you don't, then you can work with reality and work with your actions. But if you want to be renewed, if you want to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, you must go to the mind. God was very clear. Be transformed by renewing your mind. God didn't say shit about actions. God didn't say shit about other people. God didn't say shit about anything other than the mind. Be transformed by renewing the mental. We got to go to the mental plane. Okay, now let me back up. I know you had a question, Keela. Hold on. Let me go back to Big Mama's and go through hers real quick. Hold on. It says some comments were filtered. What did y'all say? What did y'all say in the chat? I'm on the right frequency because you're the first person to say my name right. Period. Of course you're on the right frequency, baby. You would not be in here if you weren't. I love that. Okay, hold on. So Big Mama says, so we can't force them. Okay, so I said that. I'm going to eat them. That's an option too. You do what you like. Okay, so how did you change that belief after seeing him unfavorably for so long? So Big Mama, what I did was I remembered who he was in the beginning. I remember who he was before everything that happened over the 2.5 years we were together. I took my perception and I shifted it back to who he was at the beginning. Because at the beginning, he was the love of my life. I didn't give him a baby for fucking fun. Because he was a regular dude. No, I gave him a baby because he was the love of my life at that time. So I had to reset my memory, basically reset my perception to who he was when we first got together, or who I thought he was, instead of me going through, okay, well, this is what he did at the 6-month mark. This is what he did in a year. This is what he did here. This is what he did here. I had to go back to how I saw him in the beginning. Right. And it's a perception. It's all about what you believe. Right. If you believe that the father of your child is X, Y, and Z, right, doesn't do what they're supposed to do, is selfish, is X, Y, and Z, you're not going to experience a reality where they're selfless, right, where they do what they want, because you believe that they're selfish. You believe that they are not going to do their job. And listen to this, I'm not saying that they haven't. Let's be clear. The reality is they're not doing what you want them to do. That's the reality. I'm not denying that experience. I believe you that that's happening for sure. But what I am saying is it's going to continue to happen if you keep believing that that's who they're always going to be. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Are literally dangerous despite trying to love them. Okay, so Keela said, what if someone is a narcissist? Now, look, if you know that they are who they are and you don't want any part of that, get out of there immediately. Like, it's no sense in you trying to change your perception of somebody when you know they're no good for you. No, I'm not telling y'all to stay anywhere where you ain't supposed to be. Absolutely not. Hold on. Let me make sure I don't have the comments. I love that you're teaching this with biblical principles. We need more of this. Oh, absolutely, baby. Everything I tell people, I teach God-centered education. So if you don't want to hear about the big G-O-D, do not come over here. I teach God-centered education. Absolutely. It is watching Gracie's Corner. Always. Okay, hold on. Without blaming yourself because of law of attraction. Okay, hold on. So you were asked about the law of attraction. That's the part that I was trying to, hold on, Big Mama. A lot of law of attraction leaders can't see it my way because they had no cures by that person. Absolutely. I totally understand. And that's the thing. I'm not denying the experience that you're having, Big Mama. I absolutely believe you. If you're saying that he is being this, he's doing this, he ain't doing this, I believe you 100%. But the other piece of that is, right, if that's what you believe about him and you continue to believe that, he's going to continue to show you that that's true. You're never going to experience a reality that's not in harmony with your beliefs. If you believe money is hard to get, you're never going to experience a reality where money flows to you easily. If you believe niggas ain't shit, you're never going to experience a reality where a man treats you like the queen that you are. You're not. It's not going to happen. They're not in harmony. Whatever you believe to be true causes you to think. However you think causes your emotions. Your emotions cause your actions. Your actions cause a reaction from God/the universe. And that reaction creates the reality. So absolutely, if you believe that sickness runs in your family, I say this all the time when we start talking about the the law, the illusion of duality, excuse me, right? You believe that disease runs in your family. That's what you be saying. Y'all be saying that. Oh, no, it run in my family. Okay. Well, if you believe it runs in your family, it's going to run into your reality too. Disease doesn't run in your family. The belief in sickness is what runs in your family. That disease don't run in your family. It doesn't. The belief in it is what runs in your family. The belief in sickness is what runs in your family. If you can eradicate the belief in sickness, you will experience a reality of health, because you are health right now. I want you guys to understand your spirit is everything that you want. So the health you want, you have right now. You just aren't experiencing it in your reality because you have a belief in sickness that's blocking the health. The money you want, you have right now. You're just not experiencing it in your reality because you have a belief that money's hard to get, and that's blocking the wealth. Does that make sense? Okay, let me back up. Hold on. And this is the thing, MJ, real quick, because MJ said I blame myself also, like I caused it. We got to get out of that blame. You got to get out of there. Why do you feel like you caused it? What did you do that caused it? Because as long as you blame yourself, as long as you're in the energy of blame, right? That's what you're sending out. And you can't experience the reality of love, joy, faith, confidence, reassurance if you're in the energy of blame. So what is it, MJ, that you blame yourself for? Okay, hold on, y'all. It's a lot of comments on both of my TikToks. Give me 1 second. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. You hear the song Positive Affirmation. Look, honestly, we be listening to Jules TV a lot, too. That's my favorite. Nope, I reject that. Reject it. You must tell yourself today is going to be a good day. Is all of it. Positive affirmations. Hi. Hello, CD. How are you, baby? Okay, so let me come back over here. Hold on, y'all. Big Mama, what did Big Mama say? Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Hold on, y'all. Let me go through the comments. Bear with me. Where does death anxiety come from? How does a person let go of fear? So this is the thing at piece 21. Fear is always going to be there. Fear can be a positive emotion because fear can stop you from falling off of the side of a bridge. Where the issue comes in at is where fear stops you from going after your dreams. Fear stops you from moving your life forward. That's where the issue is. So what you want to learn how to do, because the fear is not going to go anywhere. You're always going to have it. You're a spiritual being, but you're having a human experience. Fear is a part of the human experience. So you're not going to eradicate it completely. What you want to learn how to do is not let it control you, not let it stop you. I have fear all the time. Every day, something comes up and I'm like, ooh, I'm scared this ain't gonna work out. And immediately I'm like, girl, shut the hell up. What are you talking about? Like, the big God got you. Pipe down. Like, the fear always comes up. Doubt comes up too. I doubt I'm gonna be able to do this. And then I remind myself that I'm not actually doing it. God's doing it through me. Right? But that's a process of understanding. And that's why I say, and the Bible says, in all thy getting, get understanding. If you can understand what's happening, if you can understand how things work, if you can understand yourself, you will create that sense of faith and the fear won't stop you. But it's going to be there. You're going to have the fear. It's not going to go anywhere. You're always going to have it. Okay, hold on, MJ. Let me go back to at peace. Okay, and then you said, where does death anxiety come from? Great question. So we're going to go through this chart here in a second. Give me one moment at piece 21. Okay, hold on. What else we have? Everything starts spiritually before it is manifested in 3D. Literally that. But we don't even know that the spiritual and the mental exist. They don't teach you about that. They don't really teach you about the 3D either. They just tell you have your sight, your sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. They tell you have 5 senses, but they don't tell you about the 3D. And they damn sure don't tell you about these other 2. Oh, absolutely not. That would be way too much power. No. How do you reset the perception? Great question. Hold on. Oh, I'm in the right place, because how do we untie those beliefs that they were the reality? Great question. Hold on. Okay, great. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. Preach. Okay, Big Mama said something. Hold on. So when you said, if you know, hold on, y'all. Not acknowledge we believe people can be narcissists, so therefore it showed up randomly. Hold on, if that makes sense. Preach. Okay, hold on. I had terrible thoughts that it was too good to be true, and I didn't feel safe, so he showed me that for 5 years. And this is the thing, Big Mama. Let me be clear. You are not to blame for anybody else's actions. I want to be very clear about that. People are going to be whoever the fuck they are, regardless of you. Okay. What I am saying is the reason that you experience that in your reality is because of what you believe to be true. So I want to make that distinguishment. You are not the cause of anybody's actions. They are going to be who they are. The reason that you experience them in that way, though, is because of what you believed. Just make sure that's clear. Okay. Now let me go back. Okay, how does one manifest a relationship? Great question. What type of relationship do you want? X, Y, and Z. So what to do when we manifest, but I struggle so much from jealousy of others makes me angry. Ooh, love that. Love the honesty too. It's crippling. I feel so stuck. Okay, hold on. So when you said if you know who they are, just leave them. But if we create them by assumption, why? So this is the thing, Big Mama. If the person that you are with right now, if the person you're with right now, if they never changed, if they stayed exactly who they were today for the rest of their lives, if you would be okay with that, if you would be happy, if you would be grateful, if you would be satisfied, you stay. Now, if you are trying to change them in any way, okay, that may be an indication that they are not the one for you. Now, what I would encourage you to do is if you do love this person, right, and there are just some traits that are not favorable, yes, I would encourage you to go into your imagination. I would encourage you to get your perception of them in harmony with how you want and give them some time. However, again, if who they are today, you are clear, 100% certain this is not the person for you. It doesn't, like, if they were going to stay exactly who they were and you would not be able to be happy, fulfilled, loved in that relationship, we're not staying to try to change a perception to see if they're going to change. Absolutely not. No. But if, for the most part, they're showing you that they are who you want them to be or who you're desiring or who you've asked for. There's just a few traits that we would love to be different. That's, for you to change your perception of. But if they're clearly like not the person for you, I mean, like not at all. Like if they never changed, if they stayed exactly who they were and you would be, like I said, unsatisfied, you would feel like you're not in the right relationship. Things are not going the way you want them to go. You feel like you're settling. That's not the relationship to try to change. Okay. Now let me back up. He says he wants me to like, hold on. He wants me to like dogs. Is that a red flag? No. Somebody said yes. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a red flag that he wants you to like dogs. Like, it's just, he wants you to like dogs. That's not really a red flag. No, I wouldn't call it a red flag, right? Like if he wants you to be okay with him going out and being with other people, but you can't, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. Right. That's a red flag. But him liking dogs and him wanting you to have dogs, I wouldn't really say that's a red flag. Hold on 1 second. He tells me how much he loves me. He wants me in his future, but doesn't show it in his actions. Hey, what are the actions saying? Because this is the thing. I want you guys to understand this. People are not going to act differently than what they actually, how they identify. Let me say it this way. So the identity that a person has is in control of the actions they take. So if somebody's telling you that they love you and they want to be with you, but their actions are in direct opposition of that, they don't truly believe what they're telling you. Somebody who identifies or somebody who thinks that they're insecure, somebody who believes that they're insecure, they're not going to act in a way that's secure. Somebody who believes they're confident, they're going to act confidently. So if somebody's telling you that they love you, they're telling you that they want to be with you, but their actions are in direct opposition of that, their actions are in harmony with what they truly believe. Does that make sense? Okay, now I got an MJ over here. So I got two MJs. Okay, well, let me come back to my other MJ over here. So MJ on my other TikTok says, I feel like I do things wrong and cause problems. I know my parents said that as a kid. Okay, perfect. So MJ is going into the subconscious right now. And she's becoming aware of the fact that, because what did you say initially, MJ? You said, I blame myself like I caused it. Okay. And then I said, what you blame yourself about what, or what is it that you caused? I feel like I do things wrong and cause problems. I know my parents said that to me as a kid. So when MJ was a little girl, she was probably doing something that was appropriate for her age, and her parents labeled that as a problem, or she was doing something wrong. She was probably doing something developmentally appropriate for her age. A lot of times we label kids bad because they're doing things that kids do at that age. And then you wonder why your kids have bad actions. You've been programming them to believe they're bad this whole time. You program them to believe they're bad. They're going to act in a way in harmony with that programming. They're not going to act good if you believe they're bad. So MJ says, I feel like I do things wrong and cause problems. I know my parents said this to me as a kid. So what things are you doing wrong, MJ? What is it that you're doing wrong? Okay, hold on. Hold on, big mama. Okay, so this is what I mean. This is what I mean, big mama. So let me say it this way. If you believe, and this is not you specifically, but I want to give you an example. If you believe that niggas ain't shit, right? If that's the belief that you hold, the niggas that come into your reality and your 3D are not going to be shit. They're going to be the ain't shit niggas. That doesn't mean that not ain't shit niggas don't agree or don't exist. That niggas that are good or like the men that we really want don't exist. But you can't attract them. You can't be in harmony with them because you're not in their energy. You believe niggas ain't shit. You can only get what you believe. So then the niggas that you attract are going to act as if they're going to show up as the niggas that ain't shit because that's what you're attracting. That's the energy you're in. You're not going to attract men that treat you like a queen if you believe that niggas ain't shit. Does that make sense? So I'm not saying that you are the reason niggas ain't shit. I am saying that you're attracting the niggas that ain't shit because of what you believe about them. That's what I'm saying. Thank you for the heart, me, Lanisha. I appreciate you, baby. He was so amazing. Then boom, it all started showing when I got triggered. Okay. He was amazing. And then boom, it all started showing when I got triggered. Let me ask you this, big mama. Is it possible that he was showing the signs before, but you were so like in the clouds about him? Is that possible? Is it possible that you made the signs something other than what they were? Not saying that you did, just asking if it's possible. Thank you for the heart, Conan. I appreciate you, baby. The power of the tongue, very powerful. Hold on. And didn't hear you. Okay, hold on, Grace. Hold on, Grace. Okay, so hi, you were saying if someone says that they love you, but their actions show otherwise, that's a reflection of what? So if someone says that they love you and they want to be with you, but their actions say otherwise, that's a reflection of what they actually believe to be true. That's a reflection of what they actually believe about you. Right? Because again, you act in harmony with what you believe. You act in harmony with how you think and how you feel. You act in harmony with your identity. So if they're saying that they love you and they want to be with you, because I've had this happen, not all of my relationships, but a good bit of my relationships. Oh, they said these things. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And then they did the exact opposite of that every single time. So people are going to act in harmony with the identity that they hold for themselves. It's a reflection of how they see themselves. It's a reflection of what they believe to be true. Hold on one second. And then this is the other thing, big mama, and not to say that this is your case, but it sounds like you really, really wanted to work with this person. It sounds like you're attached to it. You're attached to him being who you want him to be. And that attachment energy is the need energy. And the need energy is the not having energy. And you can only attract and have what you already have. If you're in the energy of not having, you're going to attract more not having. I just decentered men to think that they ain't, hold on, wait. I just decentered men to think that they ain't shit now because my whole life I wanted my soulmate. And men never did anything good for me. Hold on. You want to turn this on? That's fine. I struggle with blaming myself then for their actions. I think I should have manifested better or something. And this is the thing, like you are not responsible for other people's actions. And that's why I created this process right here, the life recipe, right? Because a lot of you have this feeling that you are the reason that people act the way they do, or you're the reason that they left, or you're the reason that you got cheated on, or you're the reason that X, Y, and Z happened, right? You are not responsible for other people. You're not responsible for other people. People are going to be who they are. You're not responsible for other people, but you are responsible for the story you've been telling yourself about that. And that's what the story is. A lot of y'all have this blame story. Like you blame yourself for something else, for something that happened in your life, or for how somebody else treated you. I'm in the same situation as Big Mama. Hold on. Whenever I move on to a new relationship, my ex usually gets super angry. Friends get upset. Interesting. Whenever I move on to a new relationship, my ex usually gets super angry. Friends get upset. MJ, why are we talking about that, man? Why, how do we know he gets super upset when we in a new relationship? Why? Do you still have contact with him? So Big Mama, this process right here is for you guys to create the life of your dreams, right? Whatever that is. So we're talking about relationships pretty heavily today. So we're going to focus on relationships, right? So if your dream life, and I want you to be honest, you got to be honest with yourself. I can't make you guys be honest. You have to be honest. Honestly, truthfully, 100%. If you were living the life of your dreams, would you be in a relationship with this type of person? Be honest. Don't try to make it say, oh, well, if they, no. Be honest with yourself. If you were living the life of your dreams, would you be in a relationship with the person you're in a relationship right now? Honestly, no. Okay. So let's stop right here. Let's pause. So, no. Okay. Perfect. So this is what I want you guys to understand. This process that I would take you through is for you to renew your mind for the relationship that God has promised you, for the one that you'd be having in the life of your dreams. But both of you, right, it sounds like you have some type of attachment to the relationship you're in, which is okay, right? Because I'm sure there's feelings there, there's emotions. I know Big Mama says they got 3 kids together. So there's a lot of, memory there. There's a lot of experience there. There's a lot of love there. There's a lot of emotion there, right? But in order for you to truly create whatever it is you actually want, at some point, you're going to have to let go of that relationship. And you're going to have to let go of the story you've been telling yourself about it that's keeping you in the relationship. That's what I'm saying. So it's up to you. If you want to continue the relationship you're in, right, in hopes that it'll get better, you can do that. Right? And there's a process that you can go through to better your perception of them. But this is the thing. If you're attached to it, and this is why I said attachment, y'all are attached to this relationship. You're attached to that person, right? When you have that attachment, when you're attached to something, you need it. And when you need something, you're in the energy of not having it. You only need things that you don't have. Right? You need him to change because he's not who you want him to be right now. You need his actions to be different because they're not what you want right now. So that attachment that you have to him, that attachment you have to that relationship is keeping you in the need energy, which is keeping you in the not having energy, which is what you're attracting. So since you're attached to this person, you're attached to that specific relationship, right? It causes you to be, again, in the energy of you not having what you need from that relationship. And because you feel like you don't have what you need, or you feel like you're not getting what you need, you can only receive more of that. Okay, it's making sense right now. Okay. Okay. I was like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to say it different ways, see how I can, change it up. Because I want you guys to understand. I don't want you to come on this live and feel like, okay, well, now I'm just extra confused. No, I want you to get it. So, yeah, that's the thing that I'm saying. Like, you guys clearly just told me, if you was living your heaven on earth, you would not be with this man. Nope. That's what you said. So this process would be for you to actually let go of that person, let go of the story, let go of the emotions tied to them, so that you can now step into the energy that you've always been in, that you're whole right now, that you are your soulmate, that you are that woman, you have everything you need. And then when you go out in that whole energy, that I don't need a man, I want a man energy, then you can attract other people who are also in the whole energy. I know who I am. I don't need you, but I want you. Okay. All right. I'm unpacking. Okay, perfect. Makes so much sense. Okay, good. Okay. So I'm glad we're on the same page. Now, real quick, because I know somebody asked me about anxiety and death. So first things first, let's talk about this drawing right here. And then we'll go through these two sides of the coin. Okay, LOL, what about them though? What you mean? What about them though? Say it again. What about them though? What about them though what? Give me a little bit more context. I might have missed the other part of your question. What about them? What about them, big mama? What you mean, what about them? They'll live. They'll survive. They should match energy once we shift. And this is the thing, right? This is the thing. If you, so let me figure out how to word it. Let me figure out how to word it properly. So people are going to change for themselves. People are going to change because they want to change. And that's why I said at the beginning, you can't change other people. You can only change your perception of the other person, right? So what you want, I manifested him before to get engaged, but he changed back when my thoughts went back. Ooh, interesting. So, and this is the other thing too, big mama. Thank you for the heart me, Rudy. I appreciate you. Everybody's got free will to choose. So they have the free will to choose you. And they haven't been choosing you. Not in the way that you should be chosen. Everybody has free will to choose. And they have not been choosing you in the way that you know you should be chosen. Not worthy or like we should. Yep, absolutely. Like people have free will to choose. They get to choose you. They get to choose how they treat you. They get to choose how they show up for you. And if they're choosing, whether consciously or unconsciously, if they're choosing not to give you what it is that you need in the relationship or what you want or what you deserve, they may not be the one for you. And that's okay. Because I want you guys to understand the love that you are, the love that you emanate, there's other people that emanate that love. You wouldn't be able to emanate it if somebody else wouldn't. Let them go. I'm telling you, I did this for 4.5 years. I'm not talking to y'all about nothing I haven't done. I was stuck on a man for 4.5 years, receiving the bare minimum, praying and begging for him to give me more of what he already didn't give me. Giving him more of what he already didn't appreciate, assuming that maybe one day he'd appreciate it. Just stayed in the relationship. Cheated on. I told you guys if you're new to my channel, right, I made some content recently about HSV, about herpes. And that was the relationship that I was in where that became a part of my experience. But I had manifested 2 STDs from him before that one. And what did I do? I stayed in the relationship. Why? Crazy work. Insanity. Self-esteem in the trash. In hell. No self-esteem. None. None at all. Didn't want to be alone. I had gained so much weight, so much emotional security, that I didn't like how I looked. And I didn't think anybody else was going to want me. So I stayed where I was at until literally 2020 when I got into this information. Literally. I was like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here ASAP. It still took me 6 months to get out of that relationship. Once I figured out how this process worked. Was getting the bare minimum. Absolutely it is. And I was giving so much to him. I finally got the strength to live this year. Congratulations, baby. Wouldn't the conscious be the garden and the subconscious be the seeds? I'm confused. No, AB. The conscious mind is the male aspect of creation. The subconscious is the female aspect. The conscious mind is the intellectual mind. That's where you get to think. That's where you get to choose. You get to make decisions. So the seeds are the ideas. Okay? The conscious mind is the male aspect. So traditionally, right, the male chooses the woman. The male goes out and gets the woman. The male also has the seed. If we think about human males, they have sperm, which are the seeds, right? And the subconscious has the egg. Does that make sense? Okay, gotcha. Right, and the reason why, and this is the other thing, AB, this is why we say it this way. The conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject. So the conscious mind can choose whatever seeds it wants. It can choose an apple seed or an orange seed. The subconscious is the garden and cannot reject. It has to accept. So I want you to think about the earth, like the actual earth. If you, as the farmer gets to choose the seed. The farmer is the conscious mind. They get to choose the seed. They can pick an apple seed or an orange seed. Now, once they plant that seed into the earth, though, the earth doesn't reject it. The earth doesn't have the ability to say, oh, I don't want an apple seed today. Oh, I don't want a grape seed today. I want a mango seed. No, the earth doesn't have that choice. The earth will accept whatever the conscious mind or the farmer gives it. That makes sense? Hello, beautiful. How are you? Manifesting gratefulness. Welcome in, love. I appreciate you. I got you at peace. We're going to go through it right now. Hold on. Let me make sure I don't have any. I finally got the strength to lead this year. I'm so proud of you, Grace and Grounding. And I know it feels terrible right now. I know it feels like it feels like you're alone. It feels like maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you should have just settled. Everything that settles is at the bottom. It's terrible right now. I know it feels like it feels like you're alone. It feels like maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you should have just settled. Everything that settles is at the bottom. Stay the course. The partner of your dreams exist. They exist. I have to inbox you. Go ahead, boo-boo. They exist. I have to inbox you. Go ahead, boo-boo. Go ahead and inbox me, love. Okay, how do we quickly change our reality after awareness of how we feel, right? Feeling is the secret. The way that you're going to change your reality is through getting emotionally involved. The depiction of what your mind looks like. Now, your mind is an activity. It's not a thing, but everything starts in the mind. Everything in the body starts in the mind. If it's in the mind, it's in the body. If it's not in the body, it's not in the mind. Everything in the mind is manifested through the body. The mind and the body are two ends of the same stick. Okay? But there was a doctor back in the 40s that created this drawing to help us understand the mind. This is a stick person. Now, you can think your mind looks like whatever you want it to be. It's up to you. It's your life. But this is simple. It's profound. And it looks like you. It's a stick person. So this is what I use. I got this from Bob Proctor, who got it from the doctor in the 40s. So you can use whatever you like. But this is the picture that we use at the Great School of Life to teach you about the mind, right? So that you understand what it looks like. Okay. I miss him so much. I got you, Fuego. Or Fugeo. Fuego. No, it's not Fuego, because that E would be over there. Hello from Florida. Hello. How are you, baby? I miss him so much. I know. I miss my exes sometimes too. And then I use my memory to remember the bullshit. And then the missing goes away. That missing feeling, it dies quick. It dies quick. You're right for, okay, Fuego. Okay, that's what I thought. Right? It dies quick. But yeah, you might miss them. But then remember. Use your memory to go back into the past and remember. Now, it's some parts that was good. I'm not going to deny it. I had some great times with my exes. Beautiful times. But a good bit, I was not in my highest energy. I was sad. I was angry. I felt like I was being ignored. I felt like I was being breadcrumbed. So I think about the missing sometimes too, baby. And then I remember them breadcrumbs. And I said, oh no, it's a man out here that's going to make me a loaf from scratch. Okay, from scratch. This man going to go to the ends of the earth to get me a loaf. Girl, I ain't playing with him. I am not. No. Okay. Definitely doing all those things I'm telling you. Yep. Okay, so this is the picture of the mind. This top circle is the mind part of the mind. The bottom circle is the body part of the mind. The mind is the body is an instrument of the mind. The mind is movement. The body is the manifestation of the movement. Okay. I actually gave you guys, we'll talk about, if we have time, we'll talk about it. But this top circle is the mind. It's split into two because on this 3D physical plane, we have what's called duality. We have to have both to have everything: hot, cold, in, out, up, down, left, right. Consciousness is really one and undivided. But again, because we live in the 3D plane, it must be separated into two. The conscious mind is the male aspect of creation. The subconscious mind is the female aspect of creation. Okay. The male aspect has the ability to accept or reject. So that free will to choose, that's the conscious mind, Your conscious mind has free will to choose. You can choose the partner, you can choose the money, you can choose the job, you can choose the business, you can choose the car, you can choose the house, you can choose the food you eat, you can choose the friend you have, you can choose really anything. What is it, baby? What is it, love? Did you write on your face? Oh, no. Hold on, y'all. We were talking about relationships. CD, I honestly forgot. Put it, you say you sent me something in the DMs. Can you put that in the DMs too? I really did. It was Book of Wisdom, wasn't it? Book of Wisdom, something like that. Baby, I'm trying to teach the people. Here, take this to your Nona. Take that to her. Go ahead. Hold on, y'all. Here, take it to her. Go ahead. Hold on, y'all. What, baby? Okay, we're gonna see what happens. Okay, so the conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject. Everything that I'm telling you guys right now, you can accept or reject it. You don't have to believe anything that anybody tells you. And this is the other thing. I didn't say this at the beginning, but I normally do. I'm not here to tell you guys what to believe. I am simply here to inspire you to create beliefs that would help you create the reality of your dreams. That's it. I am simply here to help you create beliefs that will create your heaven on earth. That's it. If what I tell you is not what you want to believe, or it's not going to help you create your heaven on earth, that's totally fine. I want you to believe whatever serves you.
Where's your thing?
Okay? I want you to believe whatever serves you. Oh. Wait, explain the graph. It's too much for me to understand without some guidance. Absolutely. So that's what we're talking about right now, love. Okay? So this is a stick person. This is a representation of the mind. This is what your mind looks like. Okay? Your mind is an activity. It's not a thing, but we think in pictures. So there was a doctor that created this drawing, this depiction of the mind to help us understand it. Okay? You're literally changing my mindset. I'm really thankful. You're welcome, monkey fish. That's the goal. Give you the knowledge and help you apply it. Because knowledge is not power. You can know all the things I'm telling you and not change your life. You got to apply the knowledge. And that's what the life recipe helps you do. So the conscious mind, you can accept or reject. The subconscious mind has no ability to reject. The subconscious must accept whatever you give it. Whatever seed you plant will be accepted. The seeds are your thoughts or your ideas. Every thought you think has a feeling. Every thought you think has a feeling. So these thoughts down here, these are emotionally charged thoughts. The conscious mind is the thinking mind. The subconscious is the feeling mind. When you're thinking, I'm not good enough, what does that feel like? That feels like scarcity. That feels like lack. That feels like doubt. When you feel, I'm the baddest bitch in the world, what does that feel like? Confidence, faith, joy. Every thought has a feeling. Okay? Now, the conscious mind is the seed, is the farmer with the seed. You can choose an apple seed. You can choose a grape seed. You can choose a money seed. You can choose a poverty seed. You can choose whatever seed you want. Okay? The subconscious is the garden of the mind. The subconscious will take whatever seed the conscious mind gives it, because it has no ability not to take it. It will take whatever seed it's given, and it will outpicture the fruit of that seed in the reality. Okay? So the conscious mind thinks, the subconscious mind feels, the body acts, God reacts to the actions, and then the reality is created. The beliefs and ideas are in the subconscious. So that's why a lot of you are creating a reality and you're unsure why. You don't know why is this happening to me? It's because the beliefs that you hold are in the subconscious, and the subconscious is also called the unconscious, meaning you're not aware of it. The word conscious means aware. Okay. So when I talk about consciousness, awareness, okay, 99% of your life is awareness. 1% is strategy. 99% of your life is consciousness. right? 1% is action. So what you have to do first before you do anything is you got to figure out how you're programmed. You got to figure out what seeds are in the garden. Absolutely. Change your thoughts, change your life. Subconscious goes off symbols, goes off vibes, goes off frequencies, goes off energy. The subconscious mind is also called the God mind. The conscious mind is the human mind or the personal mind, right? The subconscious mind is the part of the mind that actually does the manifesting. The conscious mind is only 2% of your results. You can consciously decide to have more money, but if you don't get it into the subconscious, if you don't get emotionally involved with it, if you don't start to feel as though you already have it, it's not going to manifest for you. Thank you, Keela. I appreciate you, baby. Okay, now let's go through these two sides here because I want you guys to understand how life works, right? What I'm getting you to do right now is develop understanding. In all thy getting, get understanding, okay? So I have at the top here the illusion of duality because, again, everything is really one. However, in this 3D plane, we have both. Okay, so there's ignorance, which is the lack of knowledge, and then there's knowledge, right? So ignorance is just the lack of knowledge. When someone says you're ignorant, they're telling you that you lack knowledge on whatever subject they're referencing. Okay, lack of knowledge, knowledge. Does that make sense? I'm taking notes. Perfect. Now, I want you guys to understand how this process works. Everything that's in your physical reality started out in the mind. Everything in your physical body started out in the mind. Everything. There is nothing in your reality that is not supported by an idea in your consciousness. Okay? So let's start on this side and then we'll go to this side. Actually, before I do that, let me ask you guys, which side did we start on? So when you were born, which side were you on? Were you on the ignorant side or the knowledge side? I want to see what y'all say in the comments. Which side did we start on? When you were born, when you came through your mama, which side were you on? Okay, Chels, let's see. Let's see if we have some opposing options. Okay. Okay, Ceedie. Okay, I'm going to read them out in a second. Okay, Baby Cakes. Okay, At Peace. Okay, Black Pearl. Okay, Keela. Choose the closest to source. Absolutely, they are. Duchess. Okay, let's see. Okay, Lulu said the subconscious. Lulu getting ahead. Lulu know a little bit more. Ignorance. Okay, so I got some ignorance, but I got mostly knowledge. Okay, now the first time I got on live and I asked this question, everybody told me we started on this side, and that's totally okay, right? Because that's how the world has programmed you to believe that, right? But we started out on this side, right? We call babies bundles of what? Joy. Babies are the most faithful beings on this planet. I was listening to a video earlier today, and I don't remember what it was, but babies and children have this thing where they will literally have the craziest emotional breakdown for like 5 minutes, and then they literally go back to their happy selves like nothing ever happened. But us, once we grow up, we have an emotional breakdown. We start thinking about it. We go deeper into it. We focus on it for days at a time. Babies will have a whole fit and then literally 2 seconds later act like it never happened. Like that didn't just happen to them. But to answer your question, we start on this side, or to answer my question, we all start on the knowledge side. We all start on this side. And then we're programmed to doubt ourselves. We're programmed to worry. We're programmed to fear. Babies don't have fear. Babies have no fear at all. Babies will literally walk off of something because they have no awareness of fear. They're not programmed to fear yet. So we start over here and then we're programmed to get over here. So since most of us are over here, let's talk about this side. Okay? So what happens is, right, because we lack the knowledge of who we truly are, we lack the knowledge of how life works, we doubt ourselves. We worry about things. We doubt our ability to do things that we don't know how to do. We worry about if we're going to have enough money for our bills. We worry about if people are going to treat us correctly. We worry about whether we're going to be able to succeed. We doubt our skills. We doubt other people are trustworthy. We have all these doubts and all these worries. We have all these doubts and we have all these worries. We're thinking, I don't know how to do this. I'm not good enough for this. I don't have enough for this. I don't know how. I don't have the resources. The world will program you to believe that you need to know how things are going to happen. But let me let you in on a little secret. I teach my clients how to create heaven on earth. And 99.999999% of them have never created heaven on earth. So they're not going to know how to create it until after it's created. If you've never received $100,000 a month, you're not going to be able to tell me how you're going to do it until after it's done. The how is not up to you. The how is not your responsibility. That's God's responsibility. So the world is programming you to believe that you need to know God's part. No, I don't need to know God's part. That's the big God's part. How things happen, that's not up to me. That's not my part. That's the subconscious. That's God. That ain't got nothing to do with me. My job is to understand that I can of my own self do nothing. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth work. And faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And if I can transform my mind, renew my mind, I can transform my life. That's my part. How that actually happens, I'm not going to know how until after it happens. I'm happy you're here at peace. There's no way I could have told y'all how I was going to be a full-time entrepreneur for 16 months or a year and a half until now. I can tell you how I did it now, 100%. In January of last year, there's no fucking way I would have been able to tell you how I was going to do this because I've never done it before. But the world will program you to believe that you need to know how. And that's why a lot of you don't step out on your dreams. That's why you haven't started that business yet. That's why you haven't left that relationship, because you don't know how you're going to find the new one. You don't know how you're going to survive without them. Well, you're not going to know how you're going to survive without them. You've never had to. Now that you are this version of you has never survived without that person. Yeah, maybe the version you were before them, but you're not that version anymore. You're somebody totally different now. You're not going to know how you're going to survive without them until after you do it. You're not going to know how you're going to build that business until after it's built. You just have to have the faith to know that God is going to direct every single step you take. You just got to take the first step. You too busy worried about step 7. You ain't took step 1. Hello. You worried about step 27 and you haven't taken the first step. Baby, the whole staircase is never going to be shown to you. You're never going to see the whole staircase ahead of time. You'll see it afterwards. Absolutely. You'll see exactly how many steps, what steps you took to get to where you want to go. But because you're creating something you've never physically lived before, you're not going to know how it's going to manifest until after it manifests. Now, however, though, you don't know that, or you didn't know that until you got on this live. So you're doubting yourself. You want to start a business, right? You have this idea to start a business where you help single moms create digital products from home, let's say. Who knows, right? That's the business you want to start because you're a single mom, right? And you saw the value in you having digital products, right? And how they helped you get to wherever you want to go. So now you want to help other people do that. That's what you want. But what happens, right? You start to think about it. And what do you start to think about? Oh, I don't have the resources. I don't have the clients. I don't have the marketing. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to do social media. I'm too old for this. What if it doesn't work? What if I don't make any money? I've invested so much money in this. What if I don't get my money back? That's what you're thinking. You're thinking about you're doubting yourself and you're worried about the future. Those thoughts are going to produce certain feelings. Remember, I told you guys earlier, every thought has a feeling. When you say, I don't know how to do something, what does that feel like? It feels like lack. It feels like limitation. When you say, what if no one buys? What does that feel like? Lack, limitation, scarcity, fear. The doubt and the worry thoughts create certain emotions. Fear, anger, shame, guilt, envy, hate, jealousy, blame. A lot of people, right, want to invest in themselves. They want to find a mentor. They want to find a course that'll help them get to the life of their dreams, right? And then they get on a live similar to this, right? And then the creator is talking about how they're going to help them X, Y, and Z. And then it gets to the point where they got to make a decision to invest in themselves. But then what happens? They doubt that they're going to have the money. They're worried that they're not going to have the money. They doubt they're going to be able to make it happen. So now they're fearful of what's going to happen if they invest in themselves. They're angry because maybe they did have the money 2 weeks ago, but they spent it on something they shouldn't have. They feel shame because they have all of these material things, but now they don't have the money to invest in their internal. They feel guilty because they ate crab legs 30 days in a row instead of investing that money. They feel envious and jealous of the people that the creator is talking about. Oh, my clients have done this, this, this. Now you feel envy and jealousy because you don't have what you need, or you feel you don't have what you need. Okay? Now, these feelings right here, I want you guys to understand your emotions don't go anywhere. Your emotions don't go anywhere. If you do not release those emotions, they don't go anywhere. They stay in your body. These negative emotions, once they are of course, because they're in the subconscious, once these emotions are in the subconscious, they start to get your body to move in a certain way. Anxiety, this right here, anxiety, there's two ways that you can look at anxiety. Okay? Anxiety, one, is you worried about the future. Be honest. When you guys are anxious, what are you thinking about? You're thinking about something that hasn't even happened yet. You're anxious about whether you're going to be able to pay that bill. Bill ain't even came yet. You already worrying. Worrying is like praying for what you don't want. Worrying is like praying for what you don't. You're literally asking God, God, please give me what I don't want. I'm begging you. That's what you're asking for. That's what anxiety is. Anxiety is you worried about the future. You're worried about something that hasn't even happened yet. The other thing with anxiety, though, and this is what happens when you guys start thinking from the end or you start changing your life, you will feel anxious if you have two opposing ideas in the subconscious. I know y'all hear that baby in the background. He's with his Nona. The subconscious mind, I want you to think about it this way. Right now, who you are is a caterpillar, let's say. And who you want to be is the butterfly. Well, the caterpillar energy is very different from the butterfly energy. And what happens when you start thinking from the end is your old version is still there, but you're starting to give more energy to the new version. And because you have, let's say, X conditioning, your caterpillar self, and then you have the Y conditioning, your butterfly self, in the mind at the same time, that'll cause you to be anxious as well. Because you have two opposing ideas in the mind. Lulu, he falls out sometimes, you know. I just let him have his moments. But he's with his Nona. He's got a caretaker. No worries. He's not just over there crying by himself. Oh, here he comes. Houston, I'm almost done, baby. He not feeling it. He is not feeling it. He want to be up under his mama. But then if I go over there, then he want to be up under his Nona. It really is crazy work. But that's how babies do. I'm going to let him be himself. Now, anxiety. Worried about the future, something that hasn't happened yet. Or two opposing ideas in the subconscious at the same time. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So this is your current self. You have X type energy currently. Right? Now, when you start thinking from the end, what I'm going to help you do is go through this life recipe. So you're going to start to become aware of this energy. You're going to forgive yourself for the energy. And then you're going to start to create the new energy. The new energy is the Y energy. So your old self hasn't fully died yet. It hasn't fully left. But you're now starting to give energy to your new self. So you have both energies in the subconscious at the same time. That'll cause you to be anxious. Now, I want you guys to understand this. Yeah, I know. I'm going to hug him too in a minute. He is not feeling it. He is not feeling it. This is the other thing. I like to give you guys this visual about anxiety. Because anxiety on a physical level, people shake typically. You know, a lot of people that say they have it. And let me say this real quick. You don't have anxiety. Stop saying that shit. Stop claiming it. My anxiety. It's not yours. It is absolutely something you experience. It is absolutely real, 100%. But it is not yours. Stop claiming it. My anxiety is bad. No, you don't have anxiety. You experience anxiety. Oh, I struggle with it. Stop struggling with it. It's not yours. Stop claiming it. My illness, my disease, my sickness, it's not yours. Stop claiming it. Stop making it a part of your identity. Your anxiety, you do not have anxiety. You experience anxiety. And it's very real. I'm not saying it's not. A lot of y'all experience anxiety and it really puts you in a state where you feel like you cannot move forward. I'm not denying that. What I am saying is it don't belong to you. It's not yours. Okay? Now, this is what I want you guys to understand, right? A lot of people that experience anxiety, they shake, right? Or they tap. They have some type of, movement. Now, I want you to see this visual. People love this visual. This is you being anxious. You're worried about the future. I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm not going to have the money. What if it doesn't work out? All these things. This is God trying to give you the dream life. This is God, got everything you want. Now, I want you to watch this. This is God trying to give you what it is you want. But you are in a state of anxiety. As soon as God lets go, you're going to drop it. You're going to break it. You're not going to be able to sustain it. So that anxious energy actually repels what it is that you want. That's why I said when you're anxious, you're worrying about the future, and worrying is like praying for what you don't want. You're anxious that you're not going to have the money. So this is God trying to bring you the money. This is you being anxious about not having the money. You're not going to be able to receive it. So then you create a reality where you don't actually get what you need. Now, people who experience anxiety, they don't express that. They don't wake up every morning, oh my God, I'm anxious today. I love my life. I'm so anxious. No. People that experience anxiety, they suppress their anxiety. They don't express it. They don't come out openly talking about they're anxious. No, they suppress that anxiety. Now, again, what have you done? You've taken a negative emotion, right? You've gotten you were emotionally involved in these negative thoughts, and they're creating negative emotions. Okay? These negative emotions are causing your body to vibrate out of harmony with what you want. You are suppressing these negative emotions. And that's going to put you in a state of depression. Now, depression, you can look at this two ways, right? Depression is like, when you think about the word depression, it's like a dip. It's like a hole. That's what a depression is. It's like a dip, like a divot. Okay? Those negative emotions, they sit in that hole. They sit in that dip in your body. The other thing with depression is you worrying about the past. Because what happened? You doubted you were going to have the money. You got emotionally involved with that. You were anxious about it. It actually happened. Now you're worried about the past. Now you're thinking about, again, a lot of the issues that we have would be eliminated if we could stay in the present. But we put ourselves in the past so much or in the future so much that we can't acknowledge the present moment. Depression, what you didn't want with your anxiety has now become your reality. So now you're worried about the past. Like things were so good back then. Things were just perfect in the past. Everything was great. Now I'm in this state now where I don't have what I need. Now, again, the depression though, that's like a dip. It's like a divot. And then you have these negative emotions that sit in that divot. That's what that dis-ease that's in your body. Right? If I took the hyphen out of this, the word is disease. I don't say disease anymore. I say dis-ease because it's a body that's not at ease. Present. Ooh, Duchess spitting in the comments. I ain't never seen it written like that. I'm going to change it next time. Okay? Dis-ease. That's a body that's not at ease. Those negative emotions that you have not released, they sit in your body and they cause your body to be in a state of dis-ease. Okay? That dis-ease causes your body to break down. And now you're in a state of disintegration. Your body literally starts to break down. Literally. And that causes what we call death. Now, I put death in quotation marks because there's no true death. It's a transition. Your physical body, when you die or when you transition, your physical body stays on this physical 3D plane, and your spirit, who you actually are, goes back to where it started from, one with God. Okay? So that's why I put in quotations. It's just a transition. I used to be very scared of death when I was little because it just made me feel like you're just there and there's just nothing. It's just a void of nothingness, right? But when I was able to shift my perspective to know that there's not, I don't really die. My physical body stays here and then I go back to be with God. It changed things for me. Okay. And how do we process these emotions? Well, one, you want to accept that you're experiencing them. You want to acknowledge them, right? Because they're coming up for a reason. When you feel fear, when you feel anger, right? When you feel jealousy, it's coming up for a reason. Something is being triggered within you. So you want to acknowledge it and you want to feel them. I don't want you to just suppress them or try to throw them off, dismiss them. No, you're feeling it for a reason. Your feelings are valid. Everything you feel is valid. It might not be beneficial, but it's valid. So you want to acknowledge them, you want to feel them, and you want to understand them. Why am I feeling this way? What was I just thinking about? Because again, when you somebody asked me this yesterday, when you shift your energy or when you feel your energy shift, you'll feel it. Like if you were thinking about how great your day was and then a bill came up. You thought about a bill. You're like, oh shit, how am I going to pay this bill? Now you're in the energy of anxiety. Now you're feeling fearful. You can stop in that moment, right? And go, wait, hold on. What was I just thinking about? Okay, I was thinking about a bill. Okay, one, that bill's not due yet. Two, God is always providing me the money that I need. Three, I understand that God is going to make the way because I've made the decision to pay the bill, right? So the way that you process your emotions, crying too, that's good. When you want to release, when you get to the release step, cry. Go throw something. Go scream. I love crying. That's one of my favorite ways to release emotions. Now, you couldn't get me to cry 5 years ago. I turned off my emotions when I was 16. I turned them back on. I didn't mean to. I got pregnant when I was 26. And then they just all came back up. It wasn't optional. Like the movie Soul. Love that movie. Do the diagnostics. Why am I feeling this way? What's happening? Because you got to understand. You got to get to this understanding. You got to understand what's happening with you. When you feel fear, I want you to understand that your mind is not programmed for you to thrive. Your mind is programmed for you to survive. So when you're feeling the fear of fear, right, it's because your mind is perceiving a threat to your survival. Doesn't mean it's a real threat. It's a perceived threat. Because more often than not, it's your way of looking at something that's making you fearful. It's not actually a threat to you, right? So your mind right now is programmed to keep you alive. It's not programmed to keep you thriving. It's programmed to keep you from dying. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to just not die every day. Like I would like to thrive. So you got to reprogram the mind for thriving. But it's built, it's a survival mechanism. So when the emotions come up, they're coming up because there's some type of perceived threat. That's my thought. Okay, let's make sure. Got it. Now let's come on this side real quick. And then I'm going to give you about 10 more minutes. Now, this is where we want to get back to. We want to get back to the side of knowledge, right? And the way that you're going to develop the understanding is through study. You got to study. You have to study you. That's all that I teach. Anything you learn at the Great School of Life is about you. God says, seek first the kingdom of God. Where's the kingdom of God? The kingdom of God is within. God says, seek first the within and his righteousness. Righteousness, you can change that word to mean right consciousness or right mindedness, which is the same thing. God said, seek first the within and the right consciousness, the right identity. Remember who you are. You ain't a human being. You're my daughter. You're my son. You're the little G-O-D. I gave you the power to create your universe. You're not a body. Seek first the within, seek the righteousness, the right consciousness, the right identity, the right beliefs that you have an inheritance, that money is a part of it, health is a part of it, love is a part of it, and it's yours right now. Seek the right thoughts. This is going to be a great day. God is moving all the mountains out of the way for me to pursue my dreams. Feeling grateful, love, joy, attitude, attention. If you can seek the within and the right consciousness, all the things will be added unto you. All of them. There's nothing outside of all. Do y'all hear me? There's nothing outside of all. Money is in all. Healthy relationships is in all. Health is in all. Spirituality is in all. Beauty is in all. Fashion is in all. Business, career, that house, that car, money freedom, time freedom. It's all included in all. All you have to do is seek first the within, study yourself, learn who you are, build the understanding and the righteousness, the right identity, the right consciousness, and you will unlock the inheritance that you already have. You don't have to get it. I love money. I love money too. Money allows me to do a lot of things. Money allows me to get on this app literally every day and talk to y'all. Money allows me to eat healthy foods. Money allows me to invest in my business so I can create these life schools so your kids can go to public school and learn about themselves. Money allows me to bless other people. Money allows me to circulate it on others, on myself, on things that I love, things of ease and comfort. So there's nothing, and this is the thing, let me say this, because you said the love of, I love money. I want you to understand that the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil because people put money above its source. That's where the evil is in money. Money in and of itself is not evil. Money is a spiritual idea in a physical vessel that we call paper. But when you put money above its source, that's when it becomes evil. That's when it becomes a problem. Okay? So loving money in and of itself is not evil. When you know where it comes from, when you know what it is. But when you are serving money for money's sake, that's when it's evil. That's where the evil comes in at. Okay? Now, you want to develop the understanding. What do you want to understand? Right? I made a video about faith based on understanding. That's the faith that moves mountains. Understanding that you're a spiritual being and you're having a human experience. Understanding that spirit is the all and you are the all. Understanding that God gave you the mind to be able to direct that power. Understand that your body is just the vessel through which you experience it. Understand that you can of your own self do nothing. The Father that dwelleth within you does the work. Understand that if you want to transform your life, you will need to be renewed by your mind. That's the understanding you want to develop. When you start to truly understand that, oh baby, there's nothing you can do. The amount of faith that you develop from understanding yourself will get you far further than blind faith will. But that understanding creates faith. It creates love. It creates joy. When you say this bill is coming up, this bill is coming up and God is always providing me with the money, I'm going to assume that God's going to provide it for me this time. What does that create? It creates faith. It creates a sense of calm. It creates a sense of ease, of gratitude. Thank you, God, for the money that you're providing me for this bill. Thank you for the 30 days worth of lights that this bill has provided me. Okay. Congratulations, Miss Rue. How are you? Congratulations. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you for the friendship necklace, me. I appreciate you, baby. Okay. So the understanding of who you are develops feelings of faith, love, joy, compassion, bliss, ease, gratitude. When you're in these positive emotions, you're in a state of well-being. You're not anxious. You're vibrating like this. You're on a nice little wave. You're in a state of well-being. And that well-being is going to be expressed 100% of the time. When I got back on live around my birthday, I just came, started talking, and y'all were like, oh, you're glowing. Oh, I love your energy. I love this. You're so inspirational. You're so this, you're so that. I was naturally expressing. I didn't have to try to do that. I was naturally expressing. And when you naturally express yourself authentically, you're going to pick up speed. It took me 2 weeks. I had 20 people enroll in my business. I didn't talk to these people directly. They all came from a live very similar to this. 20 people in 2 weeks. I went 2 years with no clients at all. Talk about acceleration. Why? Because I was at ease. I was calm. Now I want you guys to look at it again. Thank you, love. I did get some money for my birthday. This is you at ease. And this is God. See that? Boom. Thank you, love. See how God can just give you whatever you need? Easily. No issues. Right? And that, you being at ease, gives you the ability to create. That's what we're here for. Every single one of y'all is a creator. When God said he created you in his image, in the image of the creator you were created, you are a creator. That's what you're here for. The world has labeled you a consumer, though. And that's why you consume so much. So much food, so much media, so much socials, so much negativity, so much of what the world is telling you. They've been programming you to believe you're a consumer. You're not a consumer. You're a creator that consumes. That's another reason why a lot of you are unfulfilled. Because you've been doing so much consuming and you ain't created. God did what at the beginning? In the beginning, God created. God couldn't consume anything that wasn't first created. You can't consume anything that's not first created. So a lot of you are unfulfilled because you're doing a whole lot of consuming and you ain't created nothing. And when you create, you move life forward. Oh, I am God. You are. You are the little God. God is the big God. God is not a larger version of humans. We are smaller versions of God. You are God in human form. That's who you are. You are God in human form. You are the creator of your universe. Okay? So that's how this process works, right? This is what I help you do in the Thinking from the End program. I help you get off this side and get back over here, right? We go through the life recipe. This is a 7-step process that I created to help you create the heaven on earth that you want. Doesn't matter what it is. It follows the same process. We're going to become aware of ourselves first. We're going to forgive ourselves for any stories that we've been telling that are no longer serving us. We're going to remember who we are, God in human form. We're going to start to create our desired reality and the version of us that would naturally live it. Then we're going to get emotionally involved. We're going to match the energetic frequency of it. We're going to start to take some actions, and then we're going to be open to receive it. This process will work for you with whatever it is you want. Doesn't matter what it is. It's the life recipe for a reason. Okay, you're welcome at peace. You are welcome. A lot of chilling. Wait, what? I missed it. I must have missed the other comment. Thank you. You're welcome, love. Right? So this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to make a decision on if you're going to take the information that you've been given and just hold on to it, or if you're going to do something with it. If you're going to allow it to help you create the life of your dreams, or you're just going to hold on to it, right? You guys have tons of knowledge, but you have to start to apply it. Hello, Jess. How are you, baby? You guys have tons of knowledge, but you got to start to apply it. Okay? There's no think only there is. There's no think only there is. I think I might be confused by your comment. Maybe comment it again. Right? So, what was I about to say? Right. Everything that I've taught you, I'm tired of holding on to mine. You got to let it go. Hello, Maya. Okay, Maya, I'm going to have to follow you because your name is Maya. That's what the M stands for, if y'all were wondering. It actually stands for Made in Heaven, but occasionally it stands for Maya. But yes, you guys have to start moving these things forward. You have to take the information that you have and you have to apply it, right? I've created processes and systems to help you do that, right? Thinking from the End is a 6-month process that helps you be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that helps you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness so that all the things that you want will be added unto you, okay? You guys can click the link in my bio. You can apply to join the Thinking from the End program. Outside of that, I'm having a 2-day masterclass next week, Identity Shift. Okay? If you, hold on. I see your title, Mentor, but can you explain the technique you use? Coaching, breath work, hypnosis. Hold on one second. I see your title is Mentor, but can you explain the technique you use? Coaching, breath work, hypnosis. So the technique that I would use, you can call it coaching. I don't typically do breath work. We do have lessons where we talk about ways for you to like signal safety, right? Because your nervous system has to be safe receiving. Like I can give you all the knowledge, but if your nervous system doesn't feel safe with you receiving more, you're not going to be able to actually receive it, right? So there's some actual lessons where we talk about that, right? We talk about the nervous system. We talk about signaling safety. As far as I think you mentioned hypnosis. So you're going to hypnotize yourself. That's what you're doing with the subconscious mind, right? You're going to get to a point where your mind, right? You give yourself an idea and your mind accepts it. It's like autosuggestion. That's all hypnosis is. Hypnosis is autosuggestion and heterosuggestion. What I've done today is I've given you guys heterosuggestion. That's outside suggestion. But you can also do this with yourself. It's called autosuggestion, right? So yeah, autosuggestion would be something that we use. Heterosuggestion as well, me giving you the information. Let's see, what else? It really depends on what strategy you want to use. I give people, I was about to say EFT. Like if you like EFT, then you can use that strategy too. Like there's different strategies that work for different people. I don't tell you specifically what strategy is going to work best for you. I'll give you all the options and then you choose the one that feels the best for you, right? Because feeling is the secret. If I use visualization, but you don't feel good when you visualize, or it doesn't help you, then that's not the technique I want you to use. If EFT helps you, but visualization doesn't, I want you to use EFT. Like, I want you to use what works for you. So I'll give you a list of options or ways that you can actually embody the information, and then you choose which one actually feels good to you. Therefore, okay, got it. So yeah, just want to make sure. And then yeah, I am having Identity Shift. That's a 2-day masterclass. You can click the link in my bio to join that, or you can join Community Over Commission. You'll get Identity Shift, Paradigm Shift, and then 2 7-week courses, and it's a third of the price, right? So it's really up to you. Same, it's crippling at sometimes, no appetite. I must have missed it. Y'all hear that baby in the background? That can help with that, absolutely. So yeah, so let me go figure out what's going on with my my bundle of joy. He doesn't sound very joyful right now. Something's going on. So I'm gonna go figure that out. But let me know how I can support you guys. I will be back tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. or about 6:45 Eastern Standard Time. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Send me a DM, and then look at the little hands. Hold on, baby. Send me a DM. Thank you for the roses, Jess. I appreciate you. Everything you need is in my bio. Click the link. Let me know how I can support you. I will be back tomorrow. I know, baby. I'm coming. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate you, baby.